1969 S. What if I told you that a single penny from 1969, the same year man first walked on the moon, could be worth more than a brand new car today? Yes, a humble 1969 S Lincoln penny, the kind you might still have tucked away in an old coffee can or dresser drawer, has become one of the most talked about treasures in the world of rare coins. And the best part? Many people still don't realize they might be holding one in their own collection. Picture this: it's a quiet evening in California, 2003. A retired postal worker is sorting through his childhood coin collection, something he hadn't touched in decades. He stops at a shiny brown penny, darker around the edges, with a tiny S mint mark below the date. At first, he thinks nothing of it, just another Lincoln cent. But when he looks closer under a magnifying glass, his heart skips a beat. The letters on Liberty and In God We Trust seem doubled. Confused yet curious, he takes it to a local dealer, and that ordinary-looking penny changes his life forever. It was a 1969 S double-die Lincoln penny, one of the rarest and most desired errors in U.S. coin history. So, what makes the 1969 S Lincoln penny so valuable? It's the dramatic doubling of the inscriptions, a minting error so bold it's visible to the naked eye. The S mint mark tells us it was struck in San Francisco, and that's key, because the Philadelphia Mint also made 1969 double dies, but only the San Francisco version with the S mark is considered the true rarity. Each genuine 1969 S double die cent is a masterpiece of minting mystery, with values reaching into the tens of thousands, some even fetching over $100,000 at auction. Many collectors still share heartbreaking stories, people who once had these pennies in their change and spent them without realizing. One man remembered tossing his whole coin jar into a Coinstar machine just before learning about the 1969 S-era penny. By the time he found out, it was too late. Those coins were gone, forever. That's why every coin lover, every history fan, every nostalgic soul should take a second look before letting go of what could be a life-changing piece of American history. Here's what makes it special: the date on the coin must read 1969, and just below it, there should be a small S mint mark for San Francisco. The letters Liberty and In God We Trust will look slightly doubled, not blurry, but boldly stamped twice. Lincoln's portrait remains sharp, but those doubled inscriptions are the giveaway. If you spot that combination, you may be looking at one of the most valuable pennies in American history. If you believe you found one, don't clean it or handle it too much. Get it professionally authenticated through PCGS or NGC, the most trusted coin grading services in the U.S. They can confirm its authenticity and condition, which determines its true market value. Think about it: a single penny from 1969, born during one of America's most historic years, could hold the power to change your future. So before you dismiss that old jar of coins sitting in your kitchen or garage, take a moment. Look closer. You might just uncover a piece of forgotten history, and a small fortune hiding in plain sight. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where we help you rediscover the stories, and the value, behind the coins that built America. 1968. What if a single penny from 1968, the same kind you might have spent on bubble gum or tucked away in an old coin jar, could be worth thousands today? Yes, that ordinary-looking 1968, no mint mark, Lincoln penny from your childhood could actually be one of the rarest treasures ever to slip through your fingers. Back in the late 1960s, America was changing fast, the space race was on, families gathered around black and white TVs, and pennies jingled in every kid's pocket. One man from Ohio, decades later, was sorting through his late father's coin collection when he spotted something strange: a 1968 penny without any mint mark beneath the date. He almost overlooked it, assuming it was just another worn coin. But when he took a closer look, he realized it wasn't from Denver or San Francisco. It was a rare Philadelphia issue, a survivor of a time when mint mark errors were just beginning to vanish from circulation. That one penny ended up being valued in the thousands. Here's what makes the 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny so special. Normally, pennies struck in 1968 came from Denver, marked D, or San Francisco, marked S. But a small number were struck in Philadelphia with no mint mark at all, and these coins were produced in incredibly limited quantities with near-perfect detail and striking sharpness. The rarity comes from the combination of date, lack of mint mark, and exceptional condition. Collectors across the country are paying top dollar for high-grade examples, especially those with full details on Lincoln's coat and the Monticello design gleaming sharply under light. So many people had these coins in their hands and never knew. Some spent them on a cup of coffee, others gave them to children for candy, and countless more ended up tossed into coin jars, forgotten for decades. The sad truth is, those who didn't look closely missed out on something extraordinary. Imagine knowing that one penny you spent for a newspaper years ago could have been worth over $5,000 today. That's not just money lost, that's a piece of American history slipping away. That if you have any 1968 Lincoln pennies, take a good look at the date and check beneath the numbers. If you don't see a mint mark, no tiny D or S, you might just be holding a rare Philadelphia strike. Turn it under a bright light and inspect the details. Lincoln's image should be crisp, his coat lines clear, and the edges strong. These are the telltale signs that your penny could be something truly remarkable. Be sure, always have your coin verified by trusted grading experts like PCGS or NGC. These professionals can confirm authenticity, assess the grade, and help you understand its true market value. Many collectors have turned simple pocket change into 4 or even 5 figures by getting their coins properly certified. So before you pass over that jar of old pennies or spend the one sitting in your drawer, take another look. That 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be the piece that changes everything, a hidden link to America's past and your own unexpected fortune. That old jar in your kitchen. It might just hold your future. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where every coin tells a story, and history is waiting to be found in the palm of your hand. 1972. What if a single penny from your childhood, one you might have spent on a piece of candy back in the day, could now be worth thousands of dollars? That's not a myth, my friend. It's the story of the mysterious 1972 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that has collectors across America on the hunt, hoping to uncover a tiny piece of history hiding in plain sight. Picture this, it's 1972. Gas is cheap, music is golden, and you could buy a soda for a dime. Somewhere in the Midwest, a young man gets a handful of pennies in change, nothing special, or so he thinks. He tosses them into a jar on his dresser, where they sit untouched for decades. Years later, while his grandson sorts through the old coins, one penny stands out. It's a deep, coppery shine with no mint mark beneath the date, smooth, clean, almost too perfect. That penny turned out to be one of the rarest varieties ever struck at the Philadelphia Mint, now valued at thousands of dollars. The 1972 no mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just any ordinary cent. It's a coin that tells a story of minting precision and error. Most coins from that year were produced in both Philadelphia and Denver, yet the ones without a mint mark from Philadelphia, featuring a distinct doubled image on Liberty and In God We Trust, became legendary. This doubling effect wasn't a design choice, it was a striking error that happened during production. The result? A rare and sought-after coin that collectors and investors can't stop chasing. Some pristine examples have fetched several $1,000s at auction, and their demand keeps climbing year after year. Many folks have unknowingly spent these coins over the years, tossed them into vending machines, handed them to cashiers, or rolled them up for the bank without a second thought. Imagine finding out years later that one of those pennies could have paid off your mortgage or sent your grandchild to college. It's a painful thought, but it's also a reminder, history often hides in the smallest places, and opportunity knocks softly. The key to identifying this treasure is simple yet powerful. The 1972 penny should have no mint mark under the date. The surface lettering, especially Liberty and In God We Trust, should appear doubled and bold to the naked eye. Even a modestly worn example can bring impressive value if it carries this unique doubling feature. If you think you've got one, don't rush to spend it or clean it. Instead, have it authenticated by a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC. These experts can verify the coin's authenticity and grade its condition, which plays a major role in determining its true market value. Many collectors have turned ordinary-looking pocket change into extraordinary finds with just a professional evaluation. So before you pour that old jar of pennies into the Coinstar, take a closer look. That little copper coin might not just be change, it could be your chance at a life-changing discovery. Every great fortune starts with curiosity, and every great story begins with a coin like this. That jar in your kitchen. It might just hold your future. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where we help you find the history, the value, and the wonder that's been hiding in plain sight all along. 1975. What if I told you that a single penny from 1975, one that looks completely ordinary, could be worth thousands of dollars today? That's right. A tiny coin that may have jingled in your pocket decades ago could now be one of the most sought-after treasures in American coin collecting history. The 1975 no-mint mark Monticello Lincoln penny isn't just rare, it's a symbol of how history can quietly hide in plain sight. Picture this, it's a warm summer afternoon in 1975. A young boy named David helps his grandfather clean out an old wooden desk in a quiet Midwest farmhouse. As they sort through dusty envelopes, one slips from the drawer, a small, copper coin gleaming faintly in the sunlight. His grandfather chuckles, "Just another penny, son." But little did they know, that ordinary penny was one of the rarest of its kind, a 1975 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, accidentally struck without its identifying letter, a mistake that would turn an everyday coin into a collector's dream decades later. So, what makes this penny so valuable? In 1975, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia produced Lincoln cents without any mint mark, but a few experimental pieces and misstrikes slipped through the cracks, showing unusual die details, sharper reliefs, and even doubled inscriptions. Because these no-mint mark 1975 Lincoln pennies were so few and often indistinguishable from regular circulation coins, many ended up spent, lost, or forgotten in jars and drawers. Today, collectors hunt them feverishly, offering huge sums for well-preserved examples that have survived the test of time. Imagine finding one, holding it in your hand, only to toss it back into circulation because it looked just like the rest. It's happened more times than you'd think. Many of these rare pennies have been unknowingly spent at gas stations, grocery stores, or tucked into donation jars. Every one of those coins that slipped away is a small fortune gone forever, a piece of history that could have changed someone's life. The genuine 1975 no-mint mark Lincoln penny stands out through subtle yet remarkable details. The date, 1975, should appear crisp, with no visible mint mark under the year. The portrait of Lincoln should have a strong, well-defined outline, and the reverse, showing the Monticello design, carries unusually sharp edges and refined lettering. The color may range from a deep, aged copper to a rich red tone if preserved properly. If you've got a 1975 penny without a mint mark sitting in a jar somewhere, it's time to take a closer look. If you believe you found one, have it professionally authenticated by PCGS or NGC, two of the most trusted coin grading services in the world. A verified 1975 no-mint mark Lincoln penny in high grade can fetch thousands at auction, and its demand among serious collectors continues to rise each year. So before you dismiss that old penny as just spare change, think again. That little copper coin from your childhood could be worth more than you ever imagined. Go through your old coin jars, your dresser drawers, even the ones your grandparents left behind, because treasures like this are still out there, waiting to be found. This is more than collecting, it's rediscovering a piece of American history. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where we help you uncover the stories and fortunes hidden in plain sight. 1976. What if I told you that a single penny from 1976, one without a mint mark, could be worth thousands today? Imagine finding that coin in your old coffee can, tucked away since your childhood. It's not just any penny, it's a time capsule from America's bicentennial year, and one of the most mysterious pieces quietly hiding in plain sight. Back in 1976, America was celebrating 200 years of freedom, fireworks, parades, and pride filled the air. Every coin minted that year carried a sense of history and patriotism. But among the billions of Lincoln pennies produced, a small number slipped through the presses without a mint mark, meaning they weren't made in Denver or San Francisco. They came from Philadelphia, and these few no-mint mark 1976 Lincoln pennies would one day become treasures. For decades, people spent them without knowing. Some ended up in piggy banks, others forgotten in old dresser drawers. Yet today, collectors are hunting for them like buried gold. So why is the 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln penny so special? It's not just its age, it's the condition, the striking, and its mysterious absence of a mint mark during such a historic year. These coins are known for their sharp detail, deep color, and sometimes rare die variations. A pristine, uncirculated example can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. And when you combine that with the emotional weight of 1976, the year of America's 200th birthday, its demand skyrockets among patriotic collectors who see it as a piece of living history. There are stories of people who once spent these rare pennies without a second thought, maybe for a cup of coffee or to pay a parking meter. Decades later, those same coins have surfaced in collections worth small fortunes. It's a reminder that treasures don't always sparkle when you find them. Sometimes, they're the same dull copper color you've seen all your life. That if you ever come across a 1976 Lincoln penny, look closely. There should be no mint mark beneath the date, just the number, 1976. The portrait of Lincoln should be crisp, with sharp details around his beard and coat. If the coin shines like new or appears unusually well struck, you might be holding something extraordinary. Keep it safe, because collectors are actively searching for these high-grade examples right now, and demand has never been higher. If you think you found one, don't guess, get it verified. Professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can confirm its authenticity and grade, instantly increasing its market value. Local coin dealers or reputable numismatists can also give you insight into its worth and help you protect your find properly. That old jar of pennies in your kitchen. It might hold more than memories, it could hold a piece of America's 200-year legacy. Every coin tells a story, and some stories are worth more than gold. So take a moment to look, to remember, and maybe even to dream a little. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where we help you find history hiding in plain sight. 1978. What if I told you that a simple penny from 1978, the same kind you might have once used to buy a stick of gum, could now be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars? It sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But there's a hidden treasure in the 1978 Lincoln penny, and only a handful of collectors know the truth behind its incredible rise in value. Back in the late 1970s, when gas was cheap, music was soulful, and America was changing fast, the Denver Mint struck millions of Lincoln pennies. Most were ordinary, the kind jingling in every kid's pocket. But every now and then, one coin came out, different. A small, subtle error in minting, a unique texture, or a double design created a rarity that would one day captivate collectors around the world. One such penny, forgotten in a small box for decades, was recently rediscovered by an elderly man going through his late father's coin jar. To his surprise, that simple 1978 penny, dull with age, was valued at over $3,000, a reminder that sometimes, history hides right under our noses. So, what makes the 1978 Lincoln penny so special? It's all about precision, or rather, the lack of it. Certain coins from the Denver Mint show sharp doubling on the date and lettering, especially around Liberty and In God We Trust. Others have striking off-center errors or unusual die rotations that make them stand out instantly to expert eyes. Because only a limited number of these were ever released into circulation, collectors are now paying serious money to own one. As the years pass and fewer examples remain in pristine condition, the demand for high-grade, error-free, or uniquely struck 1978 pennies keeps climbing. Imagine for a moment, how many people unknowingly spent these rare pennies over the years. How many parents handed them to a child to buy candy, never realizing they'd just given away a small fortune? It's a haunting thought. Coins like this often slip through generations, tossed into jars, spent at stores, or lost in drawers. But today, collectors are hunting for them with renewed passion, and prices are climbing fast. Missing your chance now could mean missing one of the most exciting discoveries of your lifetime. When you hold a 1978 penny in your hand, check carefully for the mint mark just below the date. That's the Denver strike, the one creating all the buzz. Look for any doubling on the numbers or letters, and pay attention to details like unusual spacing or faint misalignments. The texture, luster, and strike quality all play a part in determining value. The key is to look closely. Sometimes, the difference between a penny and a payday is just a tiny detail hidden in plain sight that if you believe you found one, don't rush to sell it. Take it to a professional grader like PCGS or NGC. These experts can authenticate, grade, and certify your coin, turning it from a maybe into a verified treasure. With certification, collectors trust the value, and you can command a much higher price in today's growing market. So before you pass by that old coffee can of coins or overlook that dusty penny jar on your shelf, take another look. You might be sitting on a piece of American history, one that tells the story of an era, a family, and a time when every penny truly mattered. That small 1978 Lincoln penny could be your hidden reward waiting to shine again. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where we help you uncover the history, the value, and the wonder hiding in your own collection. Because sometimes, the past still has a price, and it's worth every penny. 1979. What if I told you that a single penny from 1979, one that looks just like every other, could be worth thousands of dollars today? That's right, a plain-looking 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, the kind that might still be sitting in your old change jar, has become one of the most sought-after coins among collectors across America. It's not just about the money, it's about holding a small, shining piece of history in your hand. Picture this: an older gentleman in Ohio was sorting through his late father's coin collection, dusty jars, old cigar boxes, the works. He thought he'd seen it all until one coin caught the light differently. It was a 1979 penny, but something felt off. No mint mark. Curious, he took it to a local coin shop. The appraiser's eyes widened. He'd found one of the rare Philadelphia-struck 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln pennies in pristine condition. What most people would have spent on a pack of gum decades ago turned out to be worth more than his monthly mortgage payment. So what makes this coin so valuable? In 1979, most Lincoln pennies were struck in Philadelphia without a mint mark, but very few survived in uncirculated or proof-like condition. Many were quickly used, worn, and forgotten. What makes the 1979 no-mint mark penny stand out is its sharp strike, flawless luster, and perfect preservation. Collectors across the U.S. are now paying top dollar for these coins in high grades certified by PCGS and NGC. Some have even crossed the $1,000 mark, all because someone had the foresight to keep that simple penny safe. Think about how many people spent these pennies without ever knowing what they had. Some were tossed in candy machines, some lost in couch cushions, and some used to pay for morning coffee. Every one of those spent coins was a missed opportunity, a tiny piece of treasure hiding in plain sight. The next one could be in your home, tucked away since the late 70s, waiting for someone who knows what to look for. The beauty of the 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is that it doesn't need to scream rarity, it hides it quietly. You'll find Abraham Lincoln's familiar profile on the front and the Monticello design on the back, cleanly struck and sharply detailed. The absence of a mint mark below the date confirms it was minted in Philadelphia. If your coin still shines with that original copper red tone, free of scratches or wear, you might be holding something extraordinary. That if you think you found one, don't guess, get it verified. Reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC can authenticate and grade your coin. A professional certification not only confirms its authenticity but can also multiply its value when it comes time to sell or display. So tonight, before you turn in, take a look inside that old coffee tin or drawer where the coins have been resting for decades. Because one of them, that shiny 1979 no-mint mark penny, could be the small piece of luck you've been waiting for. Every coin has a story, and yours might just be the next great American treasure. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where we help you uncover history, one coin at a time. 1968. What if a single penny from 1968, the same kind you might have spent on bubble gum or tucked away in an old coin jar, could be worth thousands today? Yes, that ordinary-looking 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny from your childhood could actually be one of the rarest treasures ever to slip through your fingers. Back in the late 1960s, America was changing fast, the space race was on, families gathered around black and white TVs, and pennies jingled in every kid's pocket. One man from Ohio, decades later, was sorting through his late father's coin collection when he spotted something strange, a 1968 penny without any mint mark beneath the date. He almost overlooked it, assuming it was just another worn coin. But when he took a closer look, he realized it wasn't from Denver or San Francisco, it was a rare Philadelphia issue, a survivor of a time when mint mark errors were just beginning to vanish from circulation. That one penny ended up being valued in the thousands. Here's what makes the 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny so special. Normally, pennies struck in 1968 came from Denver, marked D, or San Francisco, marked S. But a small number were struck in Philadelphia with no mint mark at all, and these coins were produced in incredibly limited quantities with near-perfect detail and striking sharpness. The rarity comes from the combination of date, lack of mint mark, and exceptional condition. Collectors across the country are paying top dollar for high-grade examples, especially those with full details on Lincoln's coat and the Monticello design gleaming sharply under light. So many people had these coins in their hands and never knew. Some spent them on a cup of coffee, others gave them to children for candy, and countless more ended up tossed into coin jars, forgotten for decades. The sad truth is, those who didn't look closely missed out on something extraordinary. Imagine knowing that one penny you spent for a newspaper years ago could have been worth over $5,000 today. That's not just money lost, that's a piece of American history slipping away. If you have any 1968 Lincoln pennies, take a good look at the date and check beneath the numbers. If you don't see a mint mark, no tiny D or S, you might just be holding a rare Philadelphia strike. Turn it under a bright light and inspect the details. Lincoln's image should be crisp, his coat lines clear, and the edges strong. These are the telltale signs that your penny could be something truly remarkable. Be sure, always have your coin verified by trusted grading experts like PCGS or NGC. These professionals can confirm authenticity, assess the grade, and help you understand its true market value. Many collectors have turned simple pocket change into 4 or even 5 figures by getting their coins properly certified. So before you pass over that jar of old pennies or spend the one sitting in your drawer, take another look. That 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be the piece that changes everything, a hidden link to America's past and your own unexpected fortune. That old jar in your kitchen. It might just hold your future. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where every coin tells a story, and history is waiting to be found in the palm of your hand. 1971. What if I told you that a single penny from 1971, one you might have handled as a kid, could now be worth thousands of dollars? Imagine the same copper coin that once jingled in your pocket, now holding enough value to change your life. This isn't a myth or collector's rumor, it's real. And it's hiding in plain sight. The mysterious 1971 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Back in the early 1970s, America was in the heart of change. The moon landing had inspired a generation, and pocket change told the story of a nation on the move. In the middle of it all, the U.S. Mint produced millions of pennies, but a few slipped through the cracks. Among them was the elusive 1971 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, a small mistake that turned an ordinary coin into a hidden gem. Years later, collectors began to realize that this humble coin carried something far greater than its 1-cent value. A retired man from Illinois once found one in his late father's coin jar, and that discovery turned into a $5,000 payday. So, what makes the 1971 no mint mark Lincoln penny so valuable? Most pennies from that year were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally left off the mint mark. But not all coins were created equal. A small batch had sharper details, richer copper tones, and proof-like surfaces that made experts stop and stare. Some even showed subtle variations in the lettering and Lincoln's portrait, clues that set them apart from the millions of ordinary cents. Collectors pay top dollar for these rare, high-grade examples, especially when preserved in perfect condition. Countless people have spent or traded away this very coin without ever realizing its true worth. Maybe you once tossed one into a vending machine, or it's been sitting in a dusty drawer for decades. Every time that happens, another piece of history disappears back into circulation. Don't let your treasure slip through your fingers. The demand for these coins is rising fast, and collectors across the country are hunting for them right now. Here's what you need to do. Pull out those old jars, boxes, and coffee cans filled with loose change. Look for the date, 1971, right below Lincoln's shoulder, and make sure there's no mint mark under it. Examine the color and detail of the coin. Under light, sharp, clean features could mean you're holding something extraordinary. If it looks unusually crisp or uncirculated, don't dismiss it. That's where the real value begins. If you think you found one, get it authenticated by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. These experts can confirm its rarity and grade, giving you an official certificate that turns curiosity into cash value. Local coin dealers or collectors clubs can also help you identify its true worth. Think about it, that small penny from your childhood, tucked away in a jar or passed down through generations, could be worth more than you ever imagined. It's not just a coin, it's a story, a memory, and a piece of American history waiting to be rediscovered. So go check your change. Because that little copper treasure might just be your golden ticket. And remember, subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where we help you uncover the history, mystery, and hidden wealth waiting right in your pocket.